On the movie quiz tonight, Michael Parkinson and Robin Ray. With Joan Collins and Dennis Gifford. And Janet Suzman and Michael Jason. And here is your chairman, Michael Asmo.
I was hell in there. That steak was giving me heartburn. Well, good evening. As you can see, we're in Jugular Vein for tonight's special edition of Movie Quiz. And the prize of one newly severed head for the first person to guess that our theme is horror. The voice of Valentine Dial told all. Now, our willing victims are chained up as follows. The team captain of the Battersea Bloodsuckers is Robin Ray, with Joan Collins and Michael Jason. And leading the Nuneaton Necrophiliacs, Michael Parkinson, with Janet Suzman and Dennis Gifford. Necrophiliacs? Necrophiliacs, yes. I am here only for the beer, of course. B-I-E-R. Right, Janet Suzman, get away from that lever, you'll blow us all to atoms. And you can earn yourself 10 points by answering this question. Now, all the stills of our opening sequence are, of course, from horror pictures. I want to know 5 points each part of this answer, the film and the writer of the original story. So if you look at that monitor in front of you, you can tell me what this film is called and who wrote the story.
It's Dennis Wheatley wrote it.
Yes, 5 points.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
And it's The Devil Rides Out.
The Devil Rides Out, 10 points. Yes. Directed by Terence Fisher and Joan Collins. I was just looking at their neck and thinking how lovely it would be to sink the fangs into. Now, Joan, what film is this still from, and the original story writer, if you could tell me, please?
That's Brian Donlevy. And, it's the Quatermass Experiment.
Yes, it is. Yes.
And who directed it?
Well,
Val Guest.
Yes, but that wasn't the other half of the question. Thanks for telling me that, but who actually wrote the original story?
I have no idea.
No idea?
Oh, isn't it? It was the H. Rider Haggard.
Not bad, not bad.
No, I'll give you 5.
Thank you.
Michael and Janet, or Dennis?
I think Dennis
Who,
knows.
5 points.
I think it was Nigel Neal, wasn't it?
Nigel Neal wrote that.
area.
Okay, 5 points to you for that, for the bonus. And Michael Parkinson, staying with you now. Which film is this from, and who wrote the original of that?
Love Story.
I wish I could give you 5 for that.
It's Dracula, isn't it? So your actual Count Dracula.
Yes, simply Dracula, that's right. Another Terence Fisher creation, or rather direction.
Christopher Lee, isn't it?
Yep. Who wrote it, Mike?
Bram Stoker.
10 points. That's it. Robin, number 4 in the horror pictures. I think we'll be sick in a minute. This one, now please tell me what it is and who wrote the story.
Fu Manchu will do. Oh, Fu Manchu will do.
Fu Manchu will do as a starter on what the title is. Certainly Dr. Fu Manchu, but the full title of the film?
The Return of... No. The Curse of Fu Manchu, the Arrival of Fu Manchu.
Well, tell me.
Son of Fu Manchu.
He never had any offspring, as far as I know.
The Menu of Fu Manchu.
That's good. Tell me, who wrote the story? Because I can't accept the Menu of Fu Manchu.
It was written... Oh, everybody knows. Oh, I do know.
His story.
If you could give me half an
hour. Mr. Chairman, his story.
No, I do know.
I think you are.
Dennis
Because
knows.
everybody can see it's Fu Manchu, so I don't think that's really worth anything.
Oh, no, it must be worth something.
Is it? I'll be...
We all know we all know who wrote it.
Listen, I will say... I won't offer the second one. I will...
Rider Haggard thing.
It was the face of Fu Manchu, I will tell you that, and I will offer for 5 points the question, who wrote the stories, please. Michael Parkinson?
Sax Roma. Oh, he got it.
No, he didn't get it.
Sax Roma, whose real name was Arthur Sarsfield Ward.
That's right. Known as Sax Roma. 5 points bonus to Michael Parkinson's team. And Dennis Gifford, who just told me that, will you please identify this film and tell me the original writer?
The original writer of The Mummy, well, that's the remake of The Mummy, and the original writer of The Mummy was a lady who again had a triple-barreled name, Nina Wilcox Putnam.
That's absolutely right. 10 points. Where the beat of the clock's wrapped feet. Now, Michael Jason, the most famous, or one of the most famous of the macabre stories comes up now. What is it, please? And who wrote it?
The Invisible Man.
Yes, not very horrid, but you're right, of course. Written by...
H.G. Wells.
Yes, 10 points. Also directed by James Whale. There was a lot of blood in that film, you just didn't see it. Now, on we go to moving pictures and scenes from a couple of the latest and most moving horror films. People ran in all directions after this one. I remember, in fact, seeing a lovely double bill. The first was called I Married a Monster from Outer Space, and the second film was called Lucky Me. But neither of those films has anything to do with what you're about to see. This is for Michael Parkinson's team.
What do you think you are doing? Answer me, boy. What are you doing in here?
I heard cries. Like an animal. Well, it wasn't her fault. I surprised her. I'm sorry. I knew you must have a workshop somewhere. I knew you couldn't give up your work completely. And you haven't. Have you? No, I haven't given up. I never shall.
Mike and team, you'll be relieved to know that lovely Madeline Smith was in that film. It was on the programme not long ago. That wasn't her. But there's no point to tell me what it was called, because Dave Prowse played the monster in that scene from Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell. And Dave Prowse took over as the monster from Christopher Lee in an earlier Hammer film. Can you tell me the title of that film?
Oof. Is this open to the team?
Yes, it is. Certainly.
Well, Christopher Lee only played the monster once, I think, which was in The Curse of Frankenstein.
Well, he took over from Christopher Lee in this early film. Dave Prowse did. Can you tell me the film in which he...
Oh, in which Dave Prowse first appeared as the monster?
Yes, that is the one in which he took over.
I guess so. It wouldn't have been Frankenstein Creative Woman, because that was a lady monster. So, no, it's one in between.
Okay.
The Mummy.
What?
The Mummy.
No, we've been through that.
Have we?
No.
You have, but I...
You've got a need
You're
to
speaking of the
company.
woman enough. Right. Robin and Joan and Michael, what do you think?
The Revenge of Frankenstein.
Absolutely wrong. The horror of Frankenstein. So, no points there. But Michael, back to you and the team. Peter Cushing has also played another legendary character, Sherlock Holmes. The name of that film?
That was called...
The Hand of the Baskervilles.
No.
No.
Right, Janet. The Hand
Yes.
of the Baskervilles it was, made in 1959.
You're
10
right,
points.
yes, good.
10 quick points. Now, just to whet your appetite further, a little nastiness as a prelude to some questions for Robin Ray's team. Now, this recent release features another dearly loved villain who's been singing and spanged into his victims for many a happy century.
Doctor, look at this.
Ice with Chips. Now, Robin Ray's film. We saw Simon Ward in that film in the
Yes,
scene.
and Nigel Davenport.
He was also there.
Eddie Marks?
No.
Nothing, no.
Wait a minute, don't anticipate. That film was called Dracula. Now, has Simon Ward ever appeared in a film with Frankenstein?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, in fact, that's all I asked you.
with
so I just
Christopher
give you
Lee.
the point. Can you actually identify the film?
Which Frankenstein?
Frankenstein has to be destroyed.
Frankenstein
must be destroyed.
Yes, must be. Quite, 10 points.
Good
Yes,
girl.
made by Hammer Productions and featuring Christopher Lee. Well, Jack Palance was the star of that film, Dracula, and he played another famous villain, Jack the Ripper, in a film made in 1954. Could you tell me the title of that film? Jack Palance
it
as
was
Jack the
it
Ripper.
was a...
Jekyll and Hyde?
No,
Man in the Attic.
What,
Man in the Attic.
What?
Man in the Attic.
The Man in the Attic. Yes, it was that. Absolutely. My granny had one of those. Directed by Hugo Fregonese and co-starring Constance Smith. Brings you 10 points.
Third remake.
Was it really? Oh, yes. Not Herb Hatfield. Who was the other man who made one of those?
Laird Krieger,
Laird Krieger.
Ivan Novello, fourth remake.
He
And there
died when he was
someone
28,
between.
that man.
And he was very fat.
That's why he died when he was 28. Right. Robin, you and your team have scored 35. Michael, you have scored 50. Well, now it's sounds of the cinema, and tonight it's not the sound of music. We're going to play a soundtrack from a very well-known evil film. So listen to it, Robin, and your team, and if you dare, tell me what it's from.
You see, when I first began stocking my island, many of my guests thought I was joking. So I established this trophy room. I always bring them here before the hunt. An hour with my trophies, and they usually do their best to keep away from me.
Where do you get these poor devils?
Providence provided my island with dangerous reefs.
But there are light buoys to mark the safe channel.
They do not always mark it.
You shifted them.
Precisely right. Too bad your yacht should have suffered. But at least it brought us together.
You take half-drowned men from ships you've wrecked and drive them out to be hunted.
I give them every consideration. Good food, exercise, everything to get them in splendid shape.
To be shot down in cold blood.
Oh, no. Oh, I admit with this annoying fellow. But usually I give them hunting clothes, a woodsman's knife, and a full day's start. Why, I even wait until midnight to give them a full advantage of the dark. And if one eludes me only till sunrise, he wins the game.
Well, I think the most frightful thing about that was his accent, wasn't it? Strange. But Robin and Joe,
Oh, dear.
Dennis, Michael.
Well, the score
Sorry.
is going to leap ahead. I know that this is a film, I think it was made twice, and it's based on a short story called The Most Dangerous Game, I think. And that's where the fellow who owns the island gets this
Well, I will
shipwrecked
accept
bloke and
that
he hunts
because
him.
it was known mainly as the Hounds of Zara or The Most Dangerous Game. So 10 points you get for that. Directed by Ernest Schoedsack and Irving Pichel. It took two of them to do it, and it had Leslie Banks, Joel McRae, and Fay Ray. Still staying with your team. What was the unusual sport, which I feel you were about to tell me, followed by villain Leslie Banks? In
Well,
that picture?
it was a hunter who had hunted every single thing in the world except the most dangerous enemy of all, which he ascertained was man. And so he got this fellow trapped on this island, and in the end, I think the hunter goes down into a courtyard, a courtyard, if you like, of savage dogs who eat him up.
Yes, it wasn't simply that one person, though, you see. It was slightly more to it. It was a regular sport.
Yes, he gets the fellows on the island, then hunts them.
And how did he get them on the island?
They're shipwrecked.
Yes, that is the thing. And he hunts them in a special way, which he
Oh, yes.
with the dogs and...
Very special
Man's
way.
favorite sport.
Oh, really?
No, it's very boring.
I thought it was. But the story really is a very popular package for people with a death wish, that particular film. But 10 points again. Back to you, Michael and Dennis. And Janet. More sounds, but this time actually it is music from a very famous monster movie. Can you tell me which film this comes from? don't know if a monster would deserve music as fine as that. Now, I thought that as Robin's team had a fairly easy one there because most of the answer was contained in the soundtrack, I would tell you this is a very endearing monster. But what film was that from?
King Kong.
King Kong is right, Dennis. Yes, 10 points, directed by Marion C. Cooper and good old Ernie Schutzack in 1933. For another 10 points, could you tell me who wrote that music?
Max Steiner.
20 points altogether. Absolutely right. Now to our compilation sequence, where our film editor has stitched together some sequences from horror films. You can't see the joins. I think that Frankenstein would have been very proud of him. So Michael Parkinson's team, just look at all this. Well, for 10 penitent points, Michael and Dennis and Janet, what are the titles of those films?
The last one was Mary Poppins, obviously.
Yes?
I mean, they all look alike, don't they?
I agree.
I mean,
the one who fell through the window into the...
the second one.
That's the Curse of Frankenstein.
Yes, it is.
I think the first one, I'm just guessing, honestly, is Dracula is Risen.
No, it isn't that, but the Curse of Frankenstein is right. Can you tell me what the last one might be?
I thought it was Vincent Price, as were the first two, Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing.
The cast of them isn't really...
Oh, it's not.
Oh,
No, I
it's
thought it might
like-
have. I don't know. I sort of thought it was almost The Fall of the House of Usher, but then I
Which
thought
did you
it
think was the fall of the
last
house?
one?
Well, yes, it was.
Oh, it was.
So you've got certainly 5 points for the Curse of Frankenstein and the Fall of the House of Usher. Do you want to have another go at the first one?
The first one,
Dracula is coming round to our house.
no, I mean, I don't know.
Okay, well, 5 points. 5 points. And, Joan, you're looking...
Well, the first one, we think was the original Dracula.
Not the original.
Well,
Not the original, but the first Hammer horror Dracula.
Dracula it was, so there's a 5-point bonus to you. Okay. Now then, Michael, back to you and your team. The first sound version of Frankenstein featured Colin Clive and, of course, Boris Karloff. Can you tell me who directed this version in 1931 for 10 points?
A guy called James Whale.
James Whale it was. There's your 10 points. The great white hope of the film industry. Mentioned him before tonight, I think. So, you get your points, and we go back to you now, Robin and Joan and Michael. Monsters, I think, are more funny than fearful, but I speak for myself. It's up to you now to look at this collection and tell me who and what they all are. Bless their little hearts.
Get in the car. Now hold this in front of you. Stay by the light switch.
1.5, 1.6, 7.
What was that?
Sounds like a window. 1.8,
1.8. Copper pipe. 1.9. The needle hit the top.
The way that body in my closet was formed.
Get the other antenna! He's helpless without them!
Funny noise, really. Okay. Robin and Steve, what are those films?
Right, we'll do them in order.
Yeah.
We'll do them one by one. The first one was a particularly good film because you didn't see the monster until about halfway through. There was a marvellous kind of terror build-up, and that didn't kill him. They electrocuted him at the end, and it was called The Thing. No. It wasn't called The Thing. They found him under the ice. And it was called The Thing from... you want the subtitle, From Another World?
Yes. Yes, it was. That's
Well,
right.
but it was the big letters, The Thing, and From Another World.
That's
actually.
right, of course. That's the first one.
Not in seven.
They tried overlapping dialogue in that too. Do you remember? Very irritating.
Yes, I know. We just tried it now, didn't we?
Yes. Extremely irritating. Right. That's right. The first one. What's the next one?
The second one was with Dana Winter and Kevin McCarthy, and it was called Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yes, it was. And the last film was called...
And the last film was called Them, with Edmund Gwenn. It was Giant Hands.
Yes, Them.
You kill people with formic acid.
Oh, what a way to go. Right, Them, seen by us in 1954, and 10 points to your team. Okay, still with you. A famous actor played The Thing, and at least the afterwards became very well known for playing a famous television character. Who is he, please? Joan?
James Arnett,
Yes, it was. Of course, he went on to become, as you're about to tell me,
Gunsmoke, Matt Dillon.
Matt Dillon in Gunsmoke, all 9
Yeah.
feet of him. In fact, you saw a quick glimpse of him in one of those films. Do you remember which it was?
Well, in one of the other
The
films.
ones we've just seen, as a matter of interest.
Not
The
the
last-
Marks.
In the
We saw a quick glimpse of him in the third one.
Yes, you're right. Yes, he was the one in the civilian clothes. Yeah. Okay. Well, you did extremely well then, but not quite well enough at the moment because, Robin, your team has scored 80 and Michael's got 85. Now, I do enjoy this sequence because this is one in which the answers are all in the negative, and I want you, please, Robin, Joan and Michael, to look at these pictures of some well-known sinister actors. Now, the pictures are in negative form, and much healthier they look that way, too. So who do you think, first of all, this is?
Not Tessie O'Shea, is it?
Can't see the legs, can you?
Oh dear, this is a terribly frustrating thing because it's so easy when you turn it round the other way.
Is it?
Well, it
I've never
always,
tried that.
it,
Well,
always,
let's,
it looks like Michael J. Pollard in drag, actually.
It's not Bette Davis.
No, I don't think you do know who it is, do you?
No.
It isn't the easiest. I mean, she has actually, let me give you a clue on this. I mean, she has been, let's say, even though she's not attractive, she was found attractive by one of the unpleasant people in the horror world.
Elsa Lancaster?
Elsa Lanchester, you say. She was, in fact, the bride of Frankenstein. Let's have a look at that picture the right way around and see who, in fact, it is, because you've committed yourself. Elsa Lanchester, 10 points. Right. Well, you've got another try to see if you can double up on that score. Who is this?
Vincent Price.
Yes.
Well, you seem pretty definite about that. Let's see a positive version of that faith, please. Vincent Price, deeply loved on this particular program, of course. Okay, full marks on that. Over to you, Michael and Janet and Dennis. Who, please, is this?
Boris Karloff. Boris Karloff.
Yeah. You say Boris Karloff? Right, let's have a look. Please, turn the man around. And, of course, what a fine face, wasn't it? Boris Karloff it was. 10 points for that. And now, Who is this? An extraordinary face, isn't it? Looks like Steve McQueen without hair. But
I think it's Bela Lugosi.
you say, well, you've committed yourself on behalf of the whole team now, so no one can say any more. So let's have a look. Who is it? Bela Lugosi, absolutely right. 10 points. Yes, indeed. One of the greats of the horror genre. Okay, now here's a free-for-all, something we just thought of. 10 marks, a bonus for anybody who can tell me who this is. I'm looking forward to this one. So are you... Yes, don't press that, sir. Right. Oh, it's up, is it? Who is it? Yes. You've done it. Yes, Robin, you did.
Lon Chaney.
You said Lon Chaney. Which one?
Lon Chaney Jr.
Lon Chaney Jr., right, and there's no passing around in this, so can we see a positive version of this? It's lovely, it's just the same. It is Lon Chaney Jr. 10 points to you, Robin Ray. Robin, you have scored 110. Michael's chasing you up with 105. But it can all change now because we're going to our quickies. Get the fingers ready. Don't press anything but the button because things can go wrong if you don't. Right. Who played the title role for 5 points in The Werewolf of London, made in 1935? Dennis Gifford.
Henry Hull.
For 5 points, Henry Hull. Who was the actress who played the title role in Cry of the Werewolf in 1944? Dennis Gifford.
Nina Foch.
Nina Foch, it was for 5 points. To catch up everyone else, keep having a go. Who played the role in Hammer's version of The Curse of the Werewolf? Robin Ray?
Oliver Reed.
5 points, Oliver Reed. In the definitive version featuring Lon Chaney, what was the name of the character who turned into a werewolf? Robin?
Lawrence Talbot.
Lawrence Talbot in The Wolfman. I think that was the film I was thinking of earlier. 5 points to you. Who played the first talking Dr. Frankenstein? Robin?
Colin Clive.
Colin Clive, 5 points. Who played the second talking Frankenstein? Does nobody know, Dennis?
Wait a minute.
Can't wait.
Well, can't wait. I think it was Basil Rathbone because he was
You've
the
got
son of
5 points for
Frankenstein.
telling me that, in The Son of Frankenstein. Well done. That takes us to the end, and the contest was fairly close before, and is absolutely the same as we finished, because Robin Ray, at the end of this horrid quiz, has got 125, and Michael Parkinson's team 120. So, congratulations to Robin Ray, John Collins, and Michael Jason, and Michael Parkinson, and Dennis Gifford. And a case of the finest 1947 Rhesus negatives to the winners, and consolation prizes of signed photographs of Bela Lugosi's fingernails to the losers. But I have to leave you now. The moon is coming up, and I have to change back in a few moments. To all of you creatures of the night, thank you for staying up so late. Pleasant dreams, and goodbye.
Michael Jason is a National Theatre player. Next week, the movie quiz will be back at its regular time of 10 to 7 on Tuesday.